and when I was 17, I became pregnant. My boyfriend's reaction was to get rid of it. Although I had never heard anything about abortion, instinctively I knew it was a terrible thing. But being afraid to face my parents and scared to run away, I went to an abortion doctor. I was distraught and I was exploited and lied to by this doctor at my most vulnerable time and weakest time. I asked if this was like a baby. He said, not at all. It was just a clump of cells. It was legal, safe. It was no big deal. The problem would be gone and he would fix this. So feeling like I had no choice, I had the abortion. My boyfriend dropped me off at the clinic, and as I waited in the waiting room with tears streaming down my face, they told me I was overreacting. When I got on that cold table with those bright lights glaring down at me, I felt like if I was going to die. I can still see that doctor's face. When I woke up, I was bleeding terribly, in pain, ashamed, so empty and miserable. The abortion didn't relieve anything. In fact, it made me worse. There was no going back. This could never be undone. Instead of going to school, I stayed out and cried every day for a week. I finally got it together, and life went on. I stopped going to church, feeling that I didn't belong. I went from being a bright and energetic student to just getting through high school and not going on to college. My drive for life was gone. In my search for a normal life, I married another guy, but that marriage became abusive. I quickly became pregnant, and as I watched my baby's development, I was faced with the magnitude and reality of what that abortion had done. That baby that was killed was at 12 weeks gestation, and I now knew that she was not a sack of cells. She was a tiny baby, 7 ounces, 2 inches tall, with little feet, a little face, organs that worked, who could suck her thumb, cry silently, her brain fully formed, and she felt the pain of being brutally ripped apart and the betrayal and hurt from the one she should have been most safe with. I felt I had no right to grieve. This was my own fault, so I had to keep the pain inside. I went on to have 2 more children, and I was an overprotective mother, living in fear that something would happen to my children as punishment. My interior life was in chaos. I was becoming emotionally crippled and lived that way for many years. I became a victim of domestic violence, and I felt I deserved it. When my mom became terminally ill, I searched for God to help her, and in that search, He helped me too. I read scripture, and Jesus led me to the diary of St. Faustina and showed me that His divine mercy was more powerful than my sin. I took part in a Rachel's post-abortive healing retreat and gave my child a name and a spiritual burial in hopes of undoing her being thrown in the trash. So now I'm in love with Jesus. He took this wretch and made me new. I divorced that guy who almost killed me, and with much prayer and trust in God, got my life together. And now I work with Priests for Life, helping them to expose the deceit and tell how abortion kills a real child that we must love and protect, and destroys the life of the people who choose it. Abortion is a dead end for everyone involved, and could never help a single soul. And that is why I am silent no more.